What's up, everyone, and welcome to episode 234 of Two Amazon Sellers and a Microphone, brought to you by Solozo. And today we're going to be talking about how to survive in this crazy e-commerce world. There's a lot of pitfalls and traps out there for sure. A lot of mistakes people can make, and that's why we love doing this podcast, just because the more stories that we can hear, the more journeys we can learn from, then hopefully the fewer times we'll repeat any of those mistakes that we learn from others. So this is going to be really fun. Can't wait to dive in. Our guest today, he's everywhere. He's putting out a ton of content. He helps a ton of people for free, which is amazing. So a lot of you may have seen him before, but Aleksejs Leal is here. He's from Rimor Corp. And what's up, Aleksejs? How are you?
Hello, guys. Everything is great.
Yeah,
Thank you for having me.
Oh, absolutely. We're excited. You're living the dream down there in Miami, huh?
Yeah, I love Miami.
Yeah, it's we love Kansas City too, but it's pretty hard to beat that weather.
No Miami.
Scenery down there. You got it going on, and your office setup is sweet. Like it.
Thank you.
Got the A game going on that. So, well, again, thanks for joining us, and I want to kick it off our conversation because we always love to just jump in and hear the stories and the journeys of other entrepreneurs out there. So why don't you take a few minutes and just tell us how you got into the e-commerce space, what you were doing before, why you started Rimor Corp, what you're doing. You can take as long as you want.
Well, okay, let me see where to start. I mean, the story is a little bit long, so let me try to make it short. So I came to Miami when I was 17, and I graduate from high school. Then I start FIU, which is the Florida International University. I graduate finance and real estate, but I always want to have my own business. Okay, so I opened my first business when I was like 21. It called Expo Miami. Amazing name, but I never had a chance to export anything. So I closed the business. Then my next one was business and financial consulting. I was helping people to open the corporations, create a business plan. I did that for like in a year and a half. It was doing okay, but nothing exciting, And then I was hearing a lot about e-commerce. E-commerce was booming, .com was booming. So I ended up partnered up with two of my college friends, and we opened a Shopify store, to sell vitamins and supplements. One of the college friend had his own supplement store, and my other friend, we did same major in finance. So basically, we thought we're gonna be a great team. So we did Shopify store for about 6-8 months. It was doing amazing. Then we decided to expand into marketplaces like Amazon, eBay, Rakuten at that time, Walmart. So fast forward, we currently have about 15 Amazon stores. We have 5 eBay stores, 2 Walmart stores. We have a distribution company here in state, which is the Rimor Corp, a fulfillment center as well. We have a distribution company in Mexico and Colombia. We sell in Mercado Libre, which is also in Mexico, and the other one in Colombia. And yeah, I mean, the journey was, like all businesses, ups and downs. We also always have different challenges every year. But yeah, I think so far we're doing pretty good.
Do you sleep at all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, as long as you can have a good team, I think everything is possible.
Let's go here real quick because I want to touch on Shopify. You said you did Shopify in like 6-8 months. It was doing really great. What were you doing on Shopify to get so much traction and get people to buy from like an untrusted source at the time? Like, how did that happen?
I mean, we did regular marketing, mostly Google Ads, then Google Shop, even in a Bing shop. I mean, it was it was doing good. The good thing about us, our store, which we still have, we still have the store, is that we were trying to sell some unique products that are not very, how can I say, it's not very easy to buy everywhere, So it was doing good on Shopify store. When we started doing Amazon, we had to do some different strategies, because when you cannot sell on Amazon, if you cannot sell, if the product is very unique, sometimes you cannot even sell on Amazon for different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, Shopify is still, I think, is a great platform, even better now than it used to be before.
And so you said you started with supplements, is that correct? On Shopify? Yes. Did you create your own brand around that Shopify, or were you more of just a store?
Reseller.
Reseller.
Yes, reseller. Yeah.
And so when you transitioned or added on, let's talk about Amazon specifically, the Amazon marketplace, did you try to launch those same products on Amazon or resell them on Amazon as well? Or did you launch your own brand?
Our first mistake was when we started with Amazon. We thought that we can do fulfilled by merchant without same thing as we did in the website, without having the inventory, and that was our first suspension.
There you go. That's the first rule of surviving in the e-commerce world.
Yes. Because with Shopify, we will be able to get away with that, but not with Amazon.
So that drop shipping model on Shopify, that still works really well, right?
I guess, yes. You still can. Again, it all depends what type of products you sell, how people or the customers are used to get the shipping. Now it's a little bit getting, I guess, better in this sense because of this whole COVID situation. A lot of people kind of getting used to wait, but there was a time that people just want to have the products like in one day, next day. So if the vendor that you're buying from doesn't have that capability to send the products fast to a customer, you can get also, bad reviews, customer not happy, and it can affect the whole ecosystem.
Then I got to touch on you mentioned the 15 Amazon accounts.
That's a high
that
number.
blows my mind. That's amazing. That in itself is an operation to manage. What's the reasoning for? Are you trying to like silo each brand under its own account, or what's the reason for having multiple accounts?
So it's multiple reasons. Okay. I guess number one, when we start, it's because we want to diversify. We don't want to put everything in one basket. That was our number one reason, because if you have your whole operation, you have many employees, you living off that, and then you got your account that you only have one gets shut down, you basically freaking out, and I've been there, done that, and I didn't like it at all. Okay. So we say, you know what, we cannot do that anymore. We need to find a way to basically mitigate the risk, and find a way to operate in a better system. So we opened another account. That was reason number one. Then when we start seeing opportunities in private label, so we open another company, another business partners, another Amazon account, which then later on we sold the company. But it also helps you to have very organized and also diversified. You don't want to have, let's say you do wholesale in one account and then your private label in the same account, you can jeopardize one with the other, Another thing, it's healthy for any side. Plus when you have different business partners. That's second reason. Third reason, also when we start diversifying to different categories, like when you sell supplements and then you sell toys, you don't want to have them in the same account, and just doesn't look good. At the same time, if you want to diversify, it makes sense to have everything totally different,
Can we touch on that just a little bit more? Because years ago, there was always a fear of, there was a fear of opening up another account, like same name, or your name or whatever, where Amazon might look poorly upon that or investigate or close one of them down or thinking you're doing something shady. What are the steps that you have to go through to ensure there's no issue with you opening up multiple accounts today?
So that's a great question. As long as you have, there's different way of doing it, I guess. Okay. There's one way, basically let Amazon know every account that you have, or each time you open a new account, you have to let them know, which they're saying you don't now. Before you had to let them know. It's kind of not clear yet, that side, So I never went that route. The other route is, if you have, let's say, Dustin, we're gonna open a company together. We open a company together, and I put Amazon account under your name because I already have Amazon account, and you're totally different person. I might be a business partner, but it's your point of contact, So that's the way I've been always doing it. And as long as, let's say, my account for any reason got suspended and it got linked to your account for any reason, I don't know, we use same IP, something happened, you always can reinstate the account by showing them, this company have nothing to do with this company. It's a lengthy process, but I've been through that. But as long as you can prove them that one company have nothing to do with the other one, you can get reinstated.
All separate corporations.
Everything separate. Correct. I use everything completely, like new bank account, new. I don't use new computers. I just use VPS, which is like a server with the internet and everything. That's the way I do it.
It's so interesting. Yeah, because I have two accounts myself. One for like arbitrage, wholesale type stuff. Another one, a more new private label. But that's, because that makes sense. Like, everyone's looking now today, like we weren't before, about the possibility of exiting, which you've done, exiting a business. And it does make things a lot easier if everything is all in one for each one,
Yeah, whoever gonna buy your company, they're gonna look all that. The cleaner you have the company, the better. Your books are clean. You just sell this brand. Your sales are clean. You just selling this brand. It's a plus everywhere. When you have everything like organized and separate. And again, I've been through due diligence, and I know what they're looking for. And believe me, they really look at that. They want to make sure there's no, overlapping of anything. There's no like weird products that you sell with the same account.
Absolutely. You want to touch on? So obviously, you're not just running your e-commerce businesses. You have distribution and fulfillment center. You mentioned some other things. You want to just touch on Rimor Corp and some of the other things that you're doing as well?
I have multiple things that I'm doing, but my main one, my main like cash cow, like I call it, it's of course, my Amazon accounts. But then I have a fulfillment center. I basically help other sellers to receive the products and send them to Amazon. Sometimes I store them in my warehouse. Don't do that much, but usually, again, receiving the merchandise and send them into a fulfillment centers. A lot of people, I guess, sellers, when they start, I'm looking for like I'm in a middle seller, not like a big seller, because I don't have space for that neither, but neither a small seller when they should learn everything. But the sellers that don't need to go to expense of renting the whole warehouse, they basically use me by receiving the merchandise and sending them to Amazon. So that's a fulfillment. Distribution, I sell supplements also in wholesaling, in bulk. So same sellers buying the products for me, and I'm sending them to Amazon. And I also I don't do private label for now until the whole supply chain issue clears out. I sold my company in 2020. So I do want to launch my private label, but still waiting on those issues to be cleared. I do have Airbnb, Turo. I love those. Airbnb for me, it's amazing, and I think it's just like e-commerce. For me, it's an e-commerce. You just different product. In Airbnb, you have property as a product. Turo, you have car as a product. Amazon, you just sell any other product. So it's all e-commerce.
Dang.
Turo is interesting. I've looked into that just to like rent a hot rod for the day and cruise around the town. I don't know, a couple $100, whatever it is. But that's an interesting little model there. On your fulfillment company and distribution company, do you guys do any knitting?
Any what?
If any I think it's called knitting. I'm maybe saying it wrong. Kidding. Like if I send you my product and I send you my packaging, will you combine those together? And if I send you FBA labels, we ship them off?
Yeah. We do that.
Got it.
Like a customer packaging. I mean, there's an extra charge for that, of course, because it's extra labor. But yeah, of course.
It was interesting you mentioned, so you've stopped temporarily private label. So right now you're doing wholesale. Any other models?
I do drop shipping, wholesale, and yeah, that's it. Wholesale, and I used to do some arbitrage as well, but not anymore for now.
And so you mentioned you're just waiting for just this logistics nightmare, it's a real problem. We can talk about that'll be a good segue into surviving the e-commerce world.
Yes.
You found a good way by opting out temporarily of that.
Yeah.
But it's a challenge. It's it can be months and months and months,
yes.
and ultra expensive. What of those two? What was your main concern? Was it just the freight cost that was the problem, or
my main concern was delay? That's one. Okay. Something happened, no?
Yeah, Chris popped out. I'll take this off so we can keep talking.
No worries.
Yeah.
So number one is delaying. Between you order and you receive the product. Number two is basically no products. So I think it's a huge issue, and until it's being also the freight cost, of course. But again, if you have good margins, that's something that you might overtake. But that's manageable. But not having a product or waiting 12 months to get the product, that's something you cannot manage. So that's why I think it's becoming better, but I still think you need to wait until you launching new products. I mean, if you're already having a private label, you have to look for solutions fast and sometimes costly. But if you, like me, I sold the company in February 2020, right before the pandemic. I don't know. It was a luck.
You can see the future, huh?
No, I didn't. But it was really like amazing. But yeah, I do want to launch a new brand. I was planning to do it this year, but I don't see it happening. And we're already almost done with the second quarter of the year, and we all know that it's the worst time to launch the products right now. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, that's a scenario I think a lot of new sellers are in right now. Is they've got their initial order, they're following the quote unquote like launch textbook. They're driving a huge ad budget towards trying to rank a product, and then they run out. They miscalculate how long it's going to take, and I mean that's a tough situation when you. At maybe best case scenario broke even on your launch, and now you're just going to lose all of that momentum because your inventory is not there, and it could be a long time. Not to mention that whatever else you're trying to do, get it air shipped or pay more to get it in faster. It's a lot of headaches, and it's a lot of things to navigate. What else are you seeing? So talking about surviving in the e-commerce world, what else are you seeing as challenges and ways to overcome them right now in this business?
Well, for me, throughout, I would say, I don't know, like 3 or 4 years, the best way to survive anything. I mean, well, we not the pandemic though, you know, it's kind of a unique situation, but any ups and downs in the company, I think you need to diversify. That's the best way, you know, diversify into different platforms, diversify into different categories. Even, you know, get into like a service business, like I'm doing the fulfillment, distribution. It helps you to navigate through any challenging moments in your, let's say, your main income. Okay, let's say you have, to give an example, you have a private label and your main income is that brand, and then, you know, something happened. I mean, there's so many things can happen, you know, container got lost, your listing got blocked, your account got suspended, and you pretty much screwed if you don't have maybe a cushion, you know. But you if you have something that also generate income that basically at least covers your operation, you have time to think it through, take correct measurement, and make a decisions to basically survive that, you know. I saw a lot of people going out of business because they were just doing one thing, you know. But don't get me wrong, I'm not recommending that to people who just start in the business. Okay, whoever just started in the business doing like multiple things is just no good. You know, you just nothing gonna be good. You're gonna be wasting your time. Okay, but once you're already at the level that you have something good going on, it's already established, basically running by itself, then you can start diversifying and doing other things and in reinvesting your money into other things, so that money also bring you an income for any situation that might have. Okay,
it's good advice. It's good advice. Yeah, I mean, I remember after launching my business, it took off. My Amazon business, it took off, and I was able to quit my job, and I 100% prematurely quit my job. I was just seeing, okay, here we go, every month, bigger, and yeah, like you were talking about, that was, and another problem that I did was it was predominantly just a few of my SKUs that were the majority of my business, and about a year after I quit my job, they started slipping, and I started panicking. So yeah, I mean, you're 100% right. Once you get to a certain level, especially when you have things, when you have a team around you, when a lot of the things get quote unquote automated, you're not having to do all the work every day, which everybody should learn it. Everybody should do every aspect of the business, I feel like.
Yes, I agree.
Because then you can manage your teams better. But yeah, if you don't start diversifying, you're right, there's risk involved. All your eggs in one basket, not always a good plan. But
yeah, I mean, I think that's what really helped me to, you know, stand out and survive any situation. I mean, and being in pretty bad situations, and I was be able to overcome them. I would say like kind of easy, because I do have, you know, other stream incomes that just doesn't affect me, you know, even personally as well, you know. In the business, I have multiple businesses. In the personal side, I have other income that produce me, you know, that covers my expenses on a daily basis, you know. So I think it's crucial. It's crucial for the business.
Now you do quite a bit of content. You mentioned you're with Wizards of Ecom, and you do English and Spanish content, which is cool. There's a huge need and a huge audience for Spanish speaking content for sure. When did you start doing that, and what was your real reason to go out and sort of give back to the community?
So I would say a couple of things, but you guys know Tony Robbins?
Yeah, of course.
So I'm a huge fan of Tony Robbins. I just subscribed myself to Platinum partnership with them. And I've been following him for quite a while, like 4 years ago, 5 years ago. And he was always talking about, you know, giving back, find a way to give back. Again, not necessarily money like donations, but find a way to really like to fulfill yourself giving back. So I was always in looking for that. Then I met this group, Wizard of Ecom. They used to call themselves Wizard of Amazon. And Carlos, which is the organizer, gave me the opportunity basically to manage the whole Spanish aspect of the group. I was still also, I'm very involved in English as well, but he gave me that opportunity, and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. You basically, I was giving classes of and as I always I wasn't really good and very shy on giving classes, but I overcome that as well. So there were so many benefits for me at that time, but at the same time, again, helping somebody of some information that helping you to overcome any situation or not to make a mistake. Listen, don't do that, do that. It gives you amazing pleasure. It's really feels so good. And then you seeing that person growing. And again, there's people in our classes right now that are on my level or even higher, and when they were asking you like a really, really like beginner questions in the beginning, and it really fulfills you, and I've been doing it now for almost 4 years. We also launched a podcast last year in Spanish. There's also, before that was in English as well, but podcast also, interacting with people, and that's basically help you to impact even greater audience and just giving the information that you already know. For you doing step A to B, it's very easy because you've been doing 100 times. But for somebody, it seems overwhelming, seems hard, and you just need to helping them and seeing their face like lighting up. It's really fulfilling. So
what are some of the things
I'm not planning to stop doing that.
Yeah, what are some of the things that you teach or that you give tips about and that some people have implemented and they've done, whether it be product research tips or PPC tips? What's something that somebody's done and then you're now seeing them achieve really good success?
Well, there's different people. Sometimes let's say, one of the advices that I give that I think is really good is to start small. Start with the arbitrage, let's say. People want to sell millions of dollars because they see a couple of sellers here and there that do millions of dollars, but you cannot compare your chapter 1 with somebody's chapter 10. Okay. So that's advice I give in people, and they're kind of like, understand. It's like I giving them all the models that you can make money on Amazon. Like we all know, arbitrage, wholesale, private label, drop shipping, merch by Amazon, and Kindle publishing. It's 6 ways to make money, and handmade as well, which I don't know that part, but there is one. So telling them that, and I always explain each step, how to make money, what you need to do, and always telling them you should always start, doesn't matter which model you want, but you always start with arbitrage. Why? You go to any store, you understand how to analyze the product. You buy 2 units, 5 units, 10 units. Doesn't cost you anything. It's really small amount. Maybe you made a mistake. Maybe you make money, maybe you lose money, but it's going to be small investment, and you're going to learn so much. You're going to learn how to send the products to Amazon. You're going to learn when the product is being received, how to analyze before you buying the product. It's so many steps. It's simple for us, but for the people who just started, it's going to be overwhelming. And be able to do that with the $100 of investment, it's priceless. There's people selling like $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 courses just to show them how to do that. So that advice, I think, helped a lot of people to not lose a lot of money.
I love totally guilty of that. I'm guilty of that too. Like looking at somebody else's success and when I should be on my own chapter 1. I love the quote you said too. That was really good.
That is a good quote. And it's also, you're spot on. Chris and I talk about this all the time. Anybody who's starting, it's like, go do retail arbitrage. Like, and we say this exactly what you laid out. There are so many nuances to listing products, understanding what the buy box is, understanding, what's a good listing, what's a bad listing, what's BSR. You can literally learn all of that with like $30. You could go buy 3 $10 products and flip them for 20 on Amazon right now. And you can do it on the basic plan on Amazon. You don't need a professional plan. I mean, there's so many. You're spot on, and I think a lot of people, if they follow that, they will find out right away, is this for me or not?
Exactly. That's the other thing. There's people just, it's not for them. It's not for them. Imagine people investing $20,000, $30,000 buying products in China, importing them, take them like 12 months, and then failing and wasting so much money.
Yeah. You may find out, hey, I'm much better. I prefer Airbnb or cryptocurrency or whatever else you want to do. Exactly. You just don't like it. But you're right. You don't want to be 20 grand in and then find out it's not for you. So that is fantastic advice. When somebody, what kind of, let's say they've gotten past that point. Let's say that they've done that. They're like, okay, I'm private label is where I want to go. I understand things. I know what I want to do. What do you advise them going in? What of all the elements, what do you think's the most important? Like, do they need to nail that first product research? Do they need to start with small inventory again here? How do you advise them to go through that first process?
Okay, so my advice, it sometimes contradict with the people who really like private label. So, because I've been there, I know what private label is, So first of all, I always say, look for the products that somehow relate to you. Okay, that's a number one. Don't start selling, I don't know, makeup when you don't know nothing about makeup, Start something that you like, that something relates to you, that's something that you understand the product or the industry itself. That's one. Number two, do you want to make money right away? Or if you want to make money right away, private label is not for you. I'm sorry. And maybe there's people who doing differently, but I know to build the brand, because selling product on Amazon is not anymore for private labels. You want to make money, you want to flip products, do wholesale, or keep doing arbitrage. Private label is a building brand. You need to build the brand. You need to build ecosystem outside the Amazon. Okay, like your own website, social media, some sort of a community, some sort of tractions in your website, some sales. So when you launch your product on Amazon, there already is some sort of awareness. Again, it may be some good research, and you find some unique categories, subcategory, and you may be lucky, and your product gonna be good. Okay, but nowadays, for my understanding, and from my experience, you need to do more than just launching the product on Amazon. You need to do much more than that. That's one. Second, in my case, and I know a lot of people, the same case, they make money only when they sell the brand. Because when you build the brand, you need to build different SKUs. You need to build the inventory. You need to market a lot inside, outside the Amazon. All that gonna eat your profit, and usually you have to put more money. Okay, usually you have to put more money to better your margin. You need to order higher MOQs. Just building, let's say you're just gonna launch one product and building your whole brand on that and making money on that, I don't think it's true. Not anymore. Maybe before, not anymore.
Yeah.
So
before you could.
Before,
yeah, but it's much tougher. Definitely not impossible. No one should be scared by
Yeah,
it.
I'm not saying it's impossible. There
Yeah.
is, I mean, there's people that are lucky people, and maybe they do some really good, deep research, and they found this product and they rock it, you know, but not the majority. Okay, that's not something that you see every day. It's a um, very unique moment. You know, it's not something usual.
What? Let's touch on wholesale. Sounds like currently you're doing quite a bit of wholesale right now. And I'm assuming you coach people on that model and work with people on that model as well. What would you recommend someone who's starting a wholesale business today? What should their first steps and what should their expectations be on that model?
Okay, again, if you want to do wholesale, make sure you did some arbitrage before. You know, you don't want to jump to a wholesale without doing some arbitrage, because you can lose money like this. Wholesale, and then once you understand the arbitrage, I'm gonna just tell you, wholesale is the same thing as arbitrage. You know, just in a larger quantity. Mistakes cost you much more money, because now you buy a larger quantity and something wrong with the product, it's gonna cost you much more money. Okay, that's number one. Number two, try to diversify as much as you can. Don't go crazy on one product or one brand. Amazon is very unstable. Again, it's still happening to me. But the people who start, they need to be even more careful, because they maybe have a more limited capital. Because now, again, you can buy large amount of products, and then something happen with that brand or that product specifically, you can basically put yourself out of business, you know. So make sure that you analyze well and try to buy as less possible in this. We're talking about in the same product, in the same brand, you know. If you can buy 100 units or 500 units of the same product, good. Don't go try to buy the whole container of one product, because then you're gonna do a soup of it, you know. And you're gonna have your whole warehouse with that product. And if you don't have any other avenues to sell, which in that case it helps me a lot, because I do have different channels of sell, and I can, you know, sell that product. But some people just don't, you know. So you have to make sure that you don't go so deep on just one product.
One thing to touch on that, because like I mentioned, I do quite a bit of arbitrage. I've done very limited amount of wholesale, but arbitrage is almost an interesting way to research products that would be good for wholesale. I mean, I don't know if you see that. I mean, you may find a deal and you may find out, oh, I wonder if I can get this product directly from the supplier or from the distributor, because I just flipped it for a nice ROI. Maybe I can do this in bulk now and get it even at a cheaper price, especially if that brand's not actively managing their Amazon or not directly selling on Amazon. There's a lot of opportunity to research, because that's a big part of wholesale.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. I mean, the wholesale used to be, again, you need to adjust really fast on any changes. You know, it used to be you can buy as much as you can at the best price possible, which I had done that before. And, you know, and it's even much easier. You don't have to buy so many products, you know. You just buy a few good brands, go deep on them, and just sit and wait until they sell and just rebuy. You cannot do that anymore, because now we have IP complaints, safety complaints, counterfeit complaints. I mean, there's so many things, and then you have so much units of the same product, and it's, you know, it's pretty bad. So yeah, you need to diversify, and again, into categories, products. That's the key there.
You're spot on. I have that happen with arbitrage products all the time, and I'm like, thank God I only bought 15 of these.
Yeah.
And not 1,000 of them. I can't sell them anymore. All right. Well, you clearly put out a lot of content. I know a lot of people are listening. They like what they're hearing. But I'm sure we have a lot of people listening that would prefer if they could hear what we're saying in Spanish. They'd love to have that format. let everyone know, how can they find you, your content? How can they reach out to you? Maybe they want to work with you with Rimor Corp. How can they contact you for all those things and find your content?
Sure. I mean, as long as you can spell my name, which is Aleksejs, and then my last name Leal, you can find me everywhere. You know, it's Instagram, LinkedIn. You just put my name on Google and everything's gonna pop up. You know, I'm very active on Instagram. If anyone DM me, I'm happy to help. I also, like I mentioned, host the We Serve Ecom podcast in Spanish. So anyone who understands Spanish also can follow us there. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Everybody, you got to check out his content. It's fantastic. He's great. Giving back to the community. That's what we all love about this space. There's something about the e-commerce space where there's a lot of people who have been successful and they give back, and they do it for free because they love to. They want to see you succeed. It's a big pie, and we can all take our own slice of it. So go follow him and check out his content. But Aleksejs, thanks so much for joining us. This has been a blast. We loved it.
Thank you guys. I hope we can talk soon again.
Oh yeah, we'll get you back on for sure. We scratched the surface. We could take a deep dive in any one of those topics that we talked on or touched on. So again, yeah, thanks. We'll get you back for sure. And thanks everybody for tuning in. If you like content like this, make sure you subscribe to our podcast. You can find us anywhere. We're on all the podcast platforms. You can also see all of these recorded live streams on Solozo's social media channels, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. They're all there. So you can see all of our past episodes with other great guests like Aleksejs, who's joining us today. Additionally, if you're currently selling on Amazon right now and PPC is a pain point, you're maybe not sure if you're operating the right tactics or strategies to achieve your goals, or it's just way too much work for you, we'd love to help you out at Solozo. Solozo is a platform that can help fully automate and optimize your ads for you. You can go to solozo.com and schedule a demo. We'll be more than happy to talk about anything Amazon related and walk you through the platform as well. So go ahead and check us out at solozo.com. All right, that's it for today. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Thanks Aleksejs for joining us. We'll see